Hereditary isn't terrifying because of what happens. It's terrifying because nothing could ever happen any other way. Most horror movies are about bad choices, one wrong turn, one mistake, a moment where everything falls apart. Hereditary is different because by the time the movie begins, the outcome is already decided. The characters don't realize it yet, but the movie does. And once you see that, Hereditary stops feeling scary and starts feeling inevitable. Hereditary is often described as a movie about grief, or trauma, or cults. And it is all of those things. But beneath every theme, beneath every tragedy, is something far more unsettling. The illusion of control. Every character believes they're making decisions, but every path has already been chosen for them. And that's why Hereditary feels so cruel and so inescapable. Hereditary opens with a funeral, not a warning, not a mystery, an ending. Ellen is already dead, and with her death, the machinery of the story is already in motion. Annie believes her mother was controlling, distant, invasive. But what Annie doesn't understand is that Ellen's control didn't end with her death. It began there. Every relationship in this family is already compromised. Trauma is inherited. Emotional distance is inherited. And something far worse is inherited too. The movie never shows us a version of this family that was safe, because there never was one. Hereditary constantly pretends to give its characters choices, moments that feel like turning points, decisions that seem like they could change everything. But those moments aren't freedom, they're pressure. Annie doesn't calmly decide to let Peter take Charlie to the party. She's distracted. She's exhausted. She's trying to keep her family together. The choice is rushed, and that matters. Later, Annie doesn't truly choose to trust Joan either. She's grieving. She's isolated. Joan appears at the exact moment Annie needs permission to let go. These aren't coincidences. They're how control works in this movie. Never through force, always through timing. The most disturbing part of Hereditary isn't the cult. It's how gentle the manipulation is. Joan doesn't threaten Annie. She comforts her. She doesn't pressure her. She listens. This is control disguised as kindness. The cult never needs to appear powerful, because they don't rely on fear. They rely on grief doing the work for them. Annie isn't tricked. She's exhausted. And when you're exhausted long enough, surrender feels like relief. Peter believes the story is about him, and so do we. But Peter isn't the protagonist. He's the destination. The movie never asks whether Peter will survive. It only asks when he will arrive. Even Peter's resistance isn't rebellion. It's delay. The ending doesn't feel shocking because it isn't a twist. It's confirmation. What makes Hereditary linger isn't the violence or the imagery. It's the false hope. The belief that if you love hard enough, grieve correctly, make the right decisions, you can avoid disaster. Hereditary rejects that idea completely. Sometimes the horror isn't what you did wrong. It's realizing you were never allowed to do anything right. Hereditary doesn't scare you by threatening its characters. It scares you by denying them agency, by showing a world where every choice is already accounted for. And that's why it stays with you. Because long after the movie ends, you're left wondering which choices in your own life were ever really yours. If this kind of horror speaks to you, there's a lot more buried inside Hereditary.